Hey, everybody, welcome back to the 3 Star Podcast. We are here to review night 2 of WrestleMania 37 live. My name is Eric, and you can follow me on Twitter at EricJell. Below me is Mr. Get Some himself, Brandon. Bottom left hand corner is The Crimson Saint, Tony, and the top right hand corner is at Dr. underscore D11SIX on Twitter, Damon. And we started off the show tonight with. It was Hogan and Titus, wasn't it? Who started off the show at the very beginning with
Yeah, they were in fucking pirate gear and all that.
yeah, pirate outfits. Hogan looked awful. I mean, I thought Titus pulled it off pretty well, but
Titus looked slick, but Hogan, man, I don't know.
yeah, that whole thing, I don't know. And Hogan once again got booed out of the building, in my opinion. They tried to cover it up.
Bad drag queen.
Absolutely. All right, but anyway, they tried to come out and start the show up. But the first match right after that, we got the Fiend versus Randy Orton in something of a match. Right away,
something.
Yeah, right away, the red lights took me out of it. Right away.
Yeah.
But I mean, the entrances were cool. I kind of, we talked a little bit before the show. I kind of agree with Tony. The Fiend walking through the tunnel there or whatever, and changes back from being completely burnt to a crisp to being perfectly fine now. The only thing I can think of is he's kind of an entity like Michael Myers, so he's not human, but it's weird.
Don't you dare besmirch the great name of Michael Myers.
The serial killer, Michael Myers. Don't besmirch him.
And he's right there in the look. He's see him in the background. He's gonna come get your ass. Look at him right there.
But yeah, he is this otherworldly entity. So
in that sense, it makes sense.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean,
it could be the whole thing that while he was like in the burnt form or whatever, the Fiend was fully unleashed. But now that Bray may have been able to get some significant control back, so that's why he reverted back to his.
Well, Tony, you'll know this. I would assume you'll know this better than anyone. Wasn't it until what was it, 3 or 4? The third or fourth Halloween where he died, and then that's when the supernatural powers came to him.
Well, he's never technically been declared dead. I mean, so
I remember a Halloween where they someone found his body and they brought him back and imbued him with spiritual powers or something.
No, sir.
Nah, they didn't Chucky doll him.
No, you're thinking of something different. I can tell you the ending to every Halloween movie, and I promise you that.
No, it wasn't like it was like when it was with his niece.
The only thing I can think of that you might be thinking of is Halloween 6 when they brought in rituals and the Celtic ruins and stones and shit like that.
That might be what I'm thinking of.
He's never been, like I said, he's never been dead. It's just as the series progressed, they use that as a way to explain more and more why he's been burnt and shot and electrocuted and he's never died.
Well, the end of this match, it's kind of hard to describe. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. The beginning of it, though, I thought was good with the whole Jack in the Box thing, because Alexa Bliss has been teasing the Jack in the Box thing for weeks and it wouldn't ever let it, pop open. So it was kind of cool to see that actually happen to start the thing. But the ending of it, pretty much Alexa Bliss was sitting on top of the Jack in the Box, and all of a sudden she had this crown on, as an evil crown. It was bleeding like black goo all over her face, and she starts to reach out to Bray as if, to me, I kind of took it like Alexa Bliss was, channeling, Sister Abigail, or Sister Abigail was channeling herself through Alexa and was reaching toward the Fiend, and before the Fiend could reach out and grab her or touch her, Randy took advantage with an RKO, and he scrammed out of there as any normal sane one person would probably do.
Well, I'm sorry, Eric. Go ahead, buddy.
No, I was just gonna say as sane as Randy is, which isn't, but yeah.
Well, since everybody was kind of bringing up Halloween and whatnot, I mean, this might actually be something to where it could just be kind of a hard reset for the Fiend. I mean, because basically since he had his skull caved in by Seth Rollins with hammers and everything else, and that didn't stop him. But then he got pinned by Goldberg with a spear. Maybe this is just, their way of saying, all right, fuck it. We know what it is, but this is our hard reset. He's he's unbeatable again. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see
Yeah,
that.
maybe, yeah.
And don't get me wrong, this thing with Alexa and Bray, because at the end, even though it looked like they were trying to reach out to each other, but after the match was over, it was almost like Alexa looked at him like, I don't
In
like you, or
disappointment.
disappointment, something.
Right.
So I don't know exactly where they're going with this. A part of me at first thought maybe Alexa would have somebody else to face Bray and maybe turn on him, but I don't know if they're doing that or not. That'd be fine. I just don't know who or what. But well, no, it's definitely got me intrigued to see where they're going on Raw for sure.
Yep.
After this match, we had a backstage segment again with Hogan and Titus, and when Bayley interrupted, and I think Bischoff was there too. This was kind of pointless. There really wasn't nothing to it. They all tried to avoid a Bayley as best they could, and that was about all there was to that. The next match was the women's tag team title match. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler defending their titles against Tamina and Natalya. Nia Jax and Shayna retained the title after Nia had Jackson a sharpshooter and Shayna Baszler put her in her submission for the win. I don't know. I wasn't super thrilled with it. I just thought it was kind of there. The first, to me, it was like they got the worst two matches out of the way first, which is probably a good idea from a booking standpoint. So from that regard, I'm okay with it, I suppose. But
yeah, this was one of the most disappointing matches for me. Not as disappointing as I was, upset with the match, because honestly, I actually thought the match was kind of decent. Not saying it was a 5-star match by any means, but I thought it was good. But I was really disappointed because I wanted to see, Tamina and Natalya get theirs. I really feel like it, they deserve it. They put a hustle in and they've been there for a minute. I really wanted to see them win it.
Well, it's interesting you bring that up because, our fun fact guru and fact guy Mike gave us some more, records and stuff. And Natalya and Tamina got their first win last night at Mania in their entire careers. And tonight, Shayna got her first win by using the submission. So, in a way, good for them. Now, I agree with you, Tony. I would much rather have seen Natalya and Tamina win because I want Shayna away from the tag team titles as much as possible. I want her to be the killer she once was and go off on her own. And I think Shayna versus Rhea Ripley, as we'll get into a little bit later, could be very good.
Yeah. Here's the thing: if your plan was to give Nia and Shayna the win at WrestleMania, and then Monday they lose those titles to Tamina or whoever, like that makes zero sense.
Yeah, if they were gonna have, it should have happened tonight.
Yeah.
Because who are they going to go against now? Like they pretty much ran through the entire tag team women's division.
They'll be Natalya and Tamina.
Well, I mean, I guess you can continue.
That'll even make just even outside them losing it in general tomorrow night. If they lose it to Tamina and Natalya tomorrow night,
it was pointless.
Entirely pointless. Like the worst possible pointless.
Well, I believe
the only thing.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say the only thing that could make that worse is if they either brought up a tag team from NXT and had them do it, and especially if that tag team was the Way, Indy Hartwell and Johnny same face as old lady. Yeah, horrible.
Candice LeRae.
Yeah, that would be terrible. Like no matter what, they need to just kind of move on now because any other. Like you guys said, it would be pointless to have those girls win those titles tomorrow. It would have meant more to win them tonight.
I know Brandon even mentioned that he's like, what was the point of the tag team turmoil match then if you're going to have Nia Jax and Shayna just retain? And I understand the whole idea of you just want to get the tag team title matches or on the show. But to me, it's like, okay, you couldn't put that on SmackDown and then still do the championship match on the main card, and you couldn't move the men's SmackDown tag team title championship match to the main card. To me, that would have made a little bit more sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But anyway, not to be. Our next match on the show was Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. This is where the show started to turn around, in my opinion. Great match between the two of them. I thought they both played off each other well, like they did back in the old NXT days. The match ended up with Kevin Owens delivering a fisherman suplex from the top rope, which Zayn recovered and rocked Owens with a helluva kick. He rushed into the corner, eating a super kick from Owens in a second before succumbing to the stunner as Owens scored the win. I thought Logan Paul was, third wheel. There's no point in it.
There.
Yeah.
He was just there for facial reactions.
Mm-hmm.
I got him confused for his douchebag brother Jake Paul. I thought that's who it was. So I mean, it wasn't that bad. I realized, but he was completely third wheel. I mean, for what he they cut to him a couple times and he was doing stupid facial expressions and he took a stunner at the end of the match. Man, you could have had any fucking Tom,
I
Dick, or
loved him
Harry do
taking
that.
the fucking stunner though. Love that.
Wow, he made
dude,
Vince's
he looked like
Vince's cell look better than fucking.
I know. We said
that was a horrible cell.
It was not good.
No.
Yeah, I mean, he especially when he was on the outside too. He looked like he had Pamela Anderson level interest from back in the day at like WrestleMania 11 or whatever.
And here's the thing. So when they're after the stunner and he's getting down, you know, and they're helping him out, he goes, "Ow, ow!" I was like, "Really? Just leave. Like, you ain't gotta say shit. Just leave."
He looked like he was getting the most unenthusiastic handy ever in his entire life. Like, that's what he looked like sitting over there.
I mean,
just like,
yeah. I mean, as much as we're ripping on Logan Paul, and you know, deservingly so, there's no reason for him to be in this feud or this match.
No reason
there was no point.
Right. I mean, it's not his fault. WWE decided to put him in there just for his name value, and that's basically all it was. But notwithstanding, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, you know,
they had a good match.
Great job.
Great match. Yeah.
And I'm glad for those two because of all the times they've wrestled each other. I'm glad they finally got a chance to showcase what they can do together on the big stage. So, awesome.
There was a couple bumps in this match where I was like, "No, thank you."
There was a couple bumps this entire night where I
was like, "No, thank you."
Yeah, especially some of them, like especially on the edge of the apron, and
man, what is up with using that a lot lately? Jesus Christ!
I mean, we all know it's the hardest part of the ring.
Yeah,
right.
And I believe in the match that we're about to talk about now, the one that, well, I'll talk about when we get to it.
Yeah, we got a backstage segment before we get to that, which involves Matt Riddle, or Riddle as now. I guess you can't call him Matt no more. Rolls up to he rolls up on his scooter to talk to Great Khali, and then walks Rob Van Dam, and I guess they're trying to understand Khali, but he offers
rolling papers.
Yeah, he offers Rob Van Dam rolling papers for
Rob Van Dam offered. Yeah, you're right.
But what was this? I mean,
the cock ain't gonna be happy with them tonight. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, how fast before Peacock edits this segment?
Oh, it'll be edited out. I'm pretty sure both Rob and fucking Riddle were both just like, yeah.
That segment won't be on there.
What is up with this?
Fucking big. They're both just sitting in the back, I'm sure, before the show. Just
how you gonna nonchalantly talk like this ain't happening right now?
He just like slowly just went right at it.
What's the Rhymes video when everybody?
They were just fucking.
Why are your face?
Just fucking ridiculous. That segment.
This is the best way to get through this segment. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I feel a little high now just watching this. So I feel like I'm buddies with Riddle. And
I'm sure RVD when he pitched this. Whenever he pitched that idea, I'm sure Rob Van Dam had a pitching idea on that one. Why? He pitched it, and his head when they said yes, his head just like mine. His head just been fucking exploding because he's like, "Oh shit! I can't believe they actually fucking approved that."
It's so round.
It's
so round.
Yeah.
Just keeps going, man.
What?
Don't make full eye contact with the camera. Times, like I think you go back to normal and then bring it out for certain times.
Don't look directly at the camera.
There we go. Anyway,
oh my god,
that sets up the United States.
This segment made me feel blue.
Yeah, that sets up the United States Championship match: Riddle versus Sheamus. Look, this is Matt Riddle.
Can we just all say it together? Can we just all say it together?
Oh yeah, okay,
yeah, man. Fuck them
birds.
birds.
Yeah, screw them birds.
They were pirate birds.
They were
with an eye patch.
Yeah,
and one of them had an eye patch.
Why?
So
someone make me understand. I mean,
I don't know.
I can't.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't even think they know at this point.
No,
it's just because we can. I think
it's like I said with the Fiend shit and stuff, man. I can't sit here and give AEW shit and then let shit like this slide. I'm not. It was fucking trash.
And if this was AEW, I would say the same thing.
I mean, for all we fucking know, Riddle probably thinks they're actually fucking real birds there.
I had a little hope because when he kicked the flip flops off, it was on a bit of a delay. I thought they weren't going to do it, and I was like, "No, they did it." And
they
I
have
was,
a fucking
There's like a good
seagulls.
And then I
3-second
called
delay
you
between
motherfuckers
it.
as soon as that shit happened, just to say, fuck them birds.
it's a great
Like,
cameo.
here's the thing, though. So you cut all that shit out, cut all the goofy
Right.
back segment
Mhm.
shit, and then you cut off those stupid fucking birds.
Mhm.
This was a stiff ass match. Like they
Yeah.
beat the shit out of each
Both
other.
guys could work.
And I don't see why Riddle isn't being the Riddle he was in NXT. Why is he the RVD 2.0? That's what
Vince.
I don't understand that shit. Like that is
Look, he sucked in NXT. I
He
don't know what
he wasn't
everybody.
that bad in NXT.
No.
This gimmick wasn't as goofy and it wasn't as ridiculous as it is now.
No,
He
I mean,
was still
outside
the
of the whole-
bro, but it wasn't.
Outside of that,
I'd
stuff,
rather
it
see
wasn't.
the bro than the bro.
This is
Like,
the
fuck.
bro, like, who's an idiot.
I'd rather see the motherfucker go. Just
Fair enough. But that notwithstanding, again, this match was great, and the finish was incredible. The bro kick on the
Yo.
springboard off the ropes, right
He
to the
kicked his
face.
damn.
Like, it didn't even hit. It wasn't even the sole of Sheamus's boot. It was a fucking toe.
Mhm.
He
kicked
what
toe
about
kicked
Sheamus
him.
almost coming off that rope, fucked up, man?
Oh my
Bruh.
god!
I don't know why you would try it, because you there was way too many movements involved for
Yeah.
you to even.
I mean,
For a hot second, I thought he was going to climb back up there, but then he's like, "Nah, fuck it." Just
Yeah, he
fuck
just
it.
oh,
said,
when he
"Fuck it,
dropped him
man."
off
Like
the
it
white
would have
noise,
worked
yeah.
if Sheamus had both his feet on the
If-
inside.
On
It
the
would
side
have
of the
worked
and
perfectly.
he was just able to stand up, but he had to step over the
And
No.
he looked like that hurt him too, because when he fell, I mean,
Yeah.
and after that, his knees were hurting him. You could just see he was barely moving. But he got up enough to do the bro kick at the finish. But I will say, I thought the bro kick, because it's such an awkward spot, you got to time that right. He wasn't able to get the bicycle rotation on it like he normally would. But
he kicked him in the face.
I know it still looked good though, all things considered.
He was a straight toe of the boot to the face.
Right,
To
and
me,
he had
this
blood.
was worst match of the night.
Really, worst match, worse than the
Worst match of
women's.
the night. Yes.
Oh,
Wow, I wouldn't say that,
man,
me personally,
you hate
but hey,
Riddle.
We don't
You
get hate
hate-
comments for that.
You don't like Riddle at all.
I mean, I understand the riddle. I don't understand not like it really because the birds
No,
and
that's
the
personal
goofiness.
feelings aside, man. I just thought it was okay. Yeah, it was stiff. All right, it's the same way I feel about fucking 9,000 super kicks and flips. Okay, that's
Yeah.
cool. But fucking, there's no psychology or story behind the fucking thing.
Yeah, there really was no story.
It was
Yeah.
just them being stiff. I could go out there and just beat the shit out of somebody, and that doesn't make it a great match.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm telling you, like,
Fair.
Look, but at the end of it, they work well together. I mean, it is what it is.
It did take a little bit out of it though to me that they've wrestled multiple times in the last few weeks on Raw alone. So it's kind of like, all right, we've seen this, we've done it, and the whole feud was basically built kind of around Sheamus hitting Riddle with his scooter.
It was
so it's kind of
literally
like
Sheamus just being a dick, and then now they had a match.
it's like Rollins last night. The whole build was built around Cesaro swinging him, and Seth didn't like it. Okay, is that the best you got? I mean,
but their match was 10 times better than that one.
Yeah.
Than this one.
Yeah.
But anyway, all things considered, good finish, I suppose. Moving on, we had a video package, video package after this, where Triple H gave Bad Bunny a skull microphone to use on his 2022 World Tour. It's basically WWE promoting his tour in exchange for him being at WrestleMania.
we can move on.
Yeah, we can move on. I mean, the mic was cool, but that was about it.
The mic was dope.
Yeah, the mic was pretty dope. Then we had the Nigerian drum fight for the Intercontinental title. Big E
And
versus.
it did not look like what you fuckers thought it was going to look like. Y'all thought it was going to be.
Yeah,
it was going to be National Geographic. It's going to be a bunch of black people out there bouncing around drums,
running through, getting
makeup on.
Yeah, and I'm actually
y'all
literally.
thought that shit was happening.
Don't get me wrong. I still think it would have been kind of neat to have some guys on the outside banging on drums.
You just want to see slaves out there. Shut up.
I did not. That's horrible, dude. No, I just thought it would have a little aesthetic with the drum beating. I thought, but that's all.
Apollo Crews is such a bitch, though. I mean, the last time I seen a pussy take a pounding like that, I was watching fucking Jenna Jameson. All right, I'm just saying he is horrible.
Whoa.
Okay.
Look, I'm just saying it was fucking bad. He's terrible. The only thing, his gear looked great. His gear looked fresh as hell, man. But he's a fucking big milk dudded head looking motherfucker that just can't do shit. He's terrible.
I don't know.
Love you some Big E though.
Yeah, I love Big E. But again, it's
about that opinion. I don't know about Tony's opinion there.
Yeah,
Man.
like that was
Apollo Crews was great.
I thought he was great in this match. I really did.
He's always
you can
from an athletic standpoint. Apollo Crews is always
turn that fucking camera off.
You can
no,
I can't.
Don't look at it.
You can edit my opinion out. That's fine.
Yes,
Y'all
no,
feel
you're-
it,
What's the
y'all-
point
No,
in
it's
that?
your
That's part of the
opinion.
show,
Yeah,
you
we
ass.
would-
Why
but
would
you
we
know,
edit it out?
but
like
no,
the whole-
from
look.
day one on main roster, that is the one thing no one really ever criticized about Apollo. His
He was
athleticism.
bad. Yeah, he's
It
not.
was just he had no fucking character, and they finally fucking gave him one.
But I even mentioned during this match though, both guys, you know, it would have been their first win, obviously, at a Mania, and Apollo got the win here. But during this match, I came to the realization the one thing I thought WWE was doing good in this Mania compared to all the others recently, since there's no Taker, there's no Hunter, there was really no old guys except for maybe Edge that they really highlight. Okay, Orton, who they really highlighted in this 2 days here. So I was very happy to see some young, fresh talent getting chances to shine, and I will give WWE the 100% of the credit for that. Thank you.
Yeah.
There were no part timers there.
Yeah.
Outside of Edge, really.
And
I will
he's
say
really
that
not even a part timer anymore. He don't wrestle all the time, but he's on the show every week. So
Fuck them kendo shots.
oh
Yeah.
damn.
Dude, he laid in a couple of them
Start of that-
motherfuckers on
the-
Apollo.
The start of that match,
Yeah, that was.
trading the shots.
Mm.
No.
There's one spot where
Okay,
Apollo completely
so-
destroyed one too.
So the one spot I was talking about was when Apollo gave Big E that, what was it, Death Valley Driver onto the ring apron.
Yes.
When he just scooped him up and went, and I was like, nah.
Nah.
But then he took that Uranagi from
Who the steel
ring apron
steps?
onto the stair. I was like, nah, I'm good.
No.
But
I mean,
again, I enjoyed it.
Oh, we forgot to mention too the finish.
Yeah.
Big E was on his way to get the win here after the big ending and a couple big spots, but then Dabo Kato makes a nice save for Apollo Crews here and helps him get the victory. Did he give him? Did you say him? Was that a Samoan Spike? Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
now I don't know.
He even had the thumb wrap like Umaga did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so I don't know if they're going to call him Dabo Kato going forward. I mean, you could, or you give him a new gimmick and a new name change. Obviously, joining with Apollo. But I like where they're going with this heel character. It's got a little bit of.
Apparently he had the military dress of, I guess, what the military looks like over in.
Oh, okay.
Australia.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's got
to be like a security guard, basically a bodyguard for Apollo.
There's actually a lot of similarity to the Marines. My nephew, who was here watching this with me tonight, is a former Marine, and he was saying that it was actually a lot of the insignias were that of our Marines, just upside down.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay. I mean, I think the gimmick with him being like Apollo's heavy is a little bit of a copy of AJ and Almost right now. But other than that, I mean, it's a minor nitpick.
But the difference is Apollo is way bigger than AJ.
Yeah.
Like, not height.
Where he doesn't
he's
need
big. He's a big old bitch, is what he is. I don't like him.
He doesn't need the bodyguard in this situation, but
Need the body.
It's kind of like where they were teaming up all the opponents in tag team matches. It kind of feels a little bit to me like they're copying from the other show, but other than that, it's not a big thing. But that's just a minor thing for me.
Hey, Damon, how do I make my head big too?
you can't. It's big enough. Move on. Enough screen for that motherfucker.
His screen is significantly skinnier tonight, though. You know,
which makes his head look bigger.
All right, look, I was fucking around. He meant that.
I wasn't going. You know.
I was joking.
I
was throwing jokes.
Look,
he was being for real.
Look, Chubby Zane up there in the corner. I don't want to hear shit coming from you.
Time out. Did you?
Sami Zayn, who looks like Yukon Cornelius from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer now, by the way.
He does.
Which...
You call this motherfucker Chubby Zane?
Dude. That's pretty, yeah.
He called this motherfucker Chubby Zane.
Fair enough.
Hey,
he got of a kick.
Fucking fair enough.
If you can't stop the bull, don't wave the red cape at it. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, what? What in the Mayberry expressions? you just say?
I'm just saying, if you can't stop him, don't entice him.
Don't
That's what
antagonize.
that's what he did to Tony. So Tony fought back. He got the horns.
Brandon,
You know?
I'm gonna say this right now. That is not a white man thing. That is, I'm sure, South Bend. I've never once heard that expression.
Where is South Bend at?
In northern Indiana.
Okay.
I'm not from there either, but
I'm not either.
I mean, I have dad who lives there. But,
I have never heard that expression.
Yeah. Anyway,
it might be a mental thing. I don't know.
Time and it hurt.
Actually, I got it from Justice League. It was a line from Justice
fucking
League.
You
Who the fuck wrote that?
Jesus.
I guess Chris Terrio and Zack Snyder.
You would remember shit like that.
But I thought it fit the situation, so back off. All right, so where were we? The end of the Big E Apollo match.
Talking about Brandon's big ass forehead that we're going to watch next year's WrestleMania.
I ain't got no big ass forehead. My forehead is clean, bro. Well,
as soon as that hairline start going, it's going to be like movie theater size.
Yo, hold tight. I was combing my hair the other day, and I looked, and I'm like, am I going bald? Yo, I had a mini fucking heart attack. I told Miranda, like, yo, we got to fix it.
It's going to happen one day, man. It comes for us all.
Don't
Look,
wish
you
that
can't grow facial hair, so why are you growing head hair? I don't know what you're talking about.
That notwithstanding,
my face look like a baby.
After Big E and Apollo, we got the Hall of Fame 2021 inductees. You know, we talked about them last week. I guess we could just kind of move forward from that. Then we got the Raw Women's Championship match. Asuka defending her title against Rhea Ripley.
Great match.
Great match.
Dope match, dude.
Yeah,
for real.
Great winner.
And this kind of bucks the trend though of the WrestleMania, trend that's been going on, where if you get a live performance to play you to the ring, you would most likely lose, like Big E did earlier in the night. But Rhea Ripley wins the Raw Women's Championship tonight. Again, just a phenomenal match between the two.
They went in.
Yeah. My wife and my niece were actually really big fans of Rhea from the beginning of the show. They seen her and they're like they were drawn to her, and like it was so cool to just see. Like my nephew Darian, he used to love wrestling. It's been a while since he watched it, but it was so cool to see him get wrapped up in that again, and then to see my wife kind of start to get into it, who's never been a wrestling fan. Kind of same with my niece. They immediately got drawn towards somebody just off of their look. It's kind of so it made me feel. Tonight was just a really good WrestleMania, and I don't know. I liked the whole thing, and it was just awesome.
Now, that being said, there's going to be some WWE fans out there who are going to say this is one of the best WrestleManias of all time. It is good, but I think it's pretty delusional to say that. It's at a very low bar.
It's the best WrestleMania probably in
a while.
10 years, at least.
But at the same time, if anything like WrestleMania 17, WrestleMania 3, WrestleMania 8, WrestleMania, I don't know. I could go all WrestleMania 12. There's something I think it's not going to come close to that. But yes, in its own right, and for WWE standards, especially in the last 10 years, I'll give them some credit. This is a good show.
I don't think it holds as much weight if we weren't in the middle of a pandemic last year. Yeah. If last year wouldn't have, turned into what it did, and then this year we finally get people back, I don't think I'm not trying to take away anything from anybody who performed over the last two nights, because everybody busted their ass.
Agreed.
But I just think it had that extra touch, that extra something, that extra drive for the wrestlers, because this has been the first show in over a year since they've had people in the attendance. So live people.
I mean, you can see the drive, like when they came out on the stage, a lot of them, you can see like them looking at the crowd, and then people are cheering or booing or whatever.
And wrestlers damn near crying. I mean, emotionally.
That energy.
Bianca last night.
Yeah.
Rhea Ripley last night too on the stage. You can see it.
Or not Sammy, but KO was tearing.
KO, dude, KO, KO came out. He was pumped.
Edge, when he comes out here in a minute, we'll get to. But they're all. The adrenaline was pumping for these guys. And which translated to a better show with the crowd plus the wrestlers into it, which is something we've been missing. And thank goodness it's back. Let's hope it's going to be a rough switch this week when they go back to the Thunderdome for the time being. But I hope now that I know Florida has kind of relaxed some stuff, and I know AEW got the clearance to go full capacity if they choose to. I would like to see WWE at least maybe try to book some outdoors like stadiums. I don't know if you're gonna do it because baseball season's in play, but at least try to get some more fans in there. At least at somewhat of a smaller capacity if you want to. But we need it as a fan base, as a company. They think they need it.
Yeah, I mean, even with the bare minimum, having like catering. I think people in the fucking catering come out and cheer.
Yeah.
Like they were in the beginning of all this. The bare minimum, have them come out.
I can't deal with this shit.
Wow.
It's also interesting to note that in the women's match, Asuka is now 0-3 at WrestleMania, and so another winless streak, kind of like Sasha Banks. But again, Asuka looked good in this match too. There was a spot too where they did that DDT on the floor. I thought
that
where
from the apron to the floor.
Yeah.
No.
Where Asuka couldn't see it and Rhea basically couldn't see it. She hit first. That sucked. But both had a good match. So yeah,
my spinal cord rolled all the way up my back on that one.
Dude,
like,
when because I'm like, Asuka has to take a flat back bump here, like from that. No, thank you.
Mm-hmm. After this match, we moved to another segment where they try to interject Titus and Hogan on the ramp. Luckily, they weren't wearing pirate gear this time, and Bayley come out to interrupt them again to try to host again, and she got a big pyro thing. But then, out of nowhere, the Bella twins come out.
We didn't want.
Yeah,
we wanted somebody else, but we got fucking twin garbage.
I was waiting for somebody else to come out, but then when that music hit, I was like, all right. Here we are.
And, of course, they chucked Bayley down the ramp, probably at least about half the way. She
Hold
rolled.
on. But before she
got booed out of the building, by the way.
Bayley was legit said, John Cena's not here.
That was a good line.
It was.
Yeah. And, of course, she got the slap, to the face for it. But, and the crowd booed it, obviously, because, Bayley should have probably been booked on this show. I mean, I know a lot of us are probably sick of seeing Charlotte to a degree because she's on every show. But in Bayley's case, we're not yet for sure, and she's a great talent, and we'd love to see her booked more often. And and hopefully maybe she'll get maybe she'll go up against Bianca Belair. That could be a nice feud on SmackDown. I wouldn't mind seeing. So we'll see what happens. So with that, we have the main event going into this match. Roman Reigns is 5-2 at 7 WrestleManias. Edge is 7-4 at 11 WrestleManias, and Daniel Bryan is 4-3 at 7 WrestleManias. So they all have good win-loss records at the big show. So yeah, this was another one. The entrances were great. Daniel Bryan didn't get any pyro, which I thought was interesting. But I
don't think he ever had pyro though.
No, but usually at Mania though, you give the big match. Every competitor gets some sort of pyro. So whatever. It was just a thing I noticed. It wasn't as big of a deal, but
they blew that pyro budget on Edge and Roman alone.
And we could tell, like we said, Edge was fired up for the entrance. Daniel was, and then Roman Reigns. Poor Roman Reigns he was fired up, but because of his character, he had to keep that locked in to show.
Look, Jay was behind him, giving him all, taking it all.
Oh yeah. I said,
that man was going to have a heart attack.
Roman probably told him, "I was like, Jay, you got to go out there and."
Amp that shit up because I can't.
Hype for the both of us.
Yeah, and have fun for the both of us. Yeah, exactly.
He was.
You look like Ace Ventura when he's looking in the bottom of the pool for Snowflake, and like.
I can't do it, Captain. I don't have the power.
Yeah. With the head all big, buddy. I can't.
It's like Missy Elliott's video. Oh.
In the rain.
Get my window.
Well,
Go back
to the bubbly one. Can you do the bubbly one?
You look like Sheamus right now.
No, I can't.
Lobster head.
How do you sing the song, Tony? How does Sheamus music?
Too many limes.
Oh wow, where'd he go? He just
you fucked it up now.
Wow.
Come back,
broke.
There he is. Hey.
Look like Space Ghost, motherfucker.
He look old as shit with that one on. Like
this is what our podcast is mostly going to be about weekly. So please tune in.
You look like you about to be the new spokesperson for diabetes.
Go back to the next.
You look like go back to you look like Wilford Brimley Jr. You look like I need to talk about diabetes.
He look like he about to go to the club and pick up them young girls.
Yeah, and put him in his trunk.
Man.
Oh.
Boy, you're just all over the place, ain't you?
Wow. White noise.
There we go.
You can't just throw that out like that, man. You just scare people.
Yeah. Anyway, getting back to this match, I will say at the beginning of this match, I couldn't get into it. I couldn't stand it because Jey Uso, granted, from a storyline standpoint, when you've got a triple threat match and there's no rules, it makes all the sense in the world for Jey Uso to get involved in this, and it makes the most sense. But to me, because he was super kicking everybody like it was a Young Bucks match, yeah, I said it as the AEW fan. I said it that
But no, hold on. I'm gonna cut you off right there.
Okay.
Because he threw 3 super kicks.
I know,
if this
but
was a Young Bucks match, there would have been 20 of the motherfuckers.
Fair enough.
He served his purpose,
Tony.
and then he got taken out. What the fuck are you?
Now, yes, he got taken out. That's where the match got better for me, but he was a detriment to this match up until that point.
No, he wasn't.
No,
to me, he was.
You said from a story standpoint.
That's the only reason.
Talk about story. Yeah. You talk about story. He would have looked stupider if he just fucking stood there and did nothing. So he did the bare minimum.
Then don't come out at all.
He threw 3. What?
The fuck?
Go on.
Part of Roman's whole deal do you think that Jay wouldn't be a part of this?
If Roman is the head of the table and the tribal chief, as he says, he shouldn't need the help. I don't care if he's a heel or not.
It's not that he needs the help. That's not it. It is simply, no matter what, Jay is obedient to Roman.
Well, and I like that. Don't get me wrong.
So, again, it was his job to do what he did.
I'm just saying from a pure match standpoint, not the storyline. I like it better when the 3
away from it because he was only there for a short amount of time.
Well, and I'm glad that's all it was.
He did and was taken out.
And if it was longer than that, I'd have been even madder. But I don't really necessarily care the fact that he got involved to get in the finish. But,
that made perfect sense as well.
Well, again, from the storyline of it, I understand it. But it's just kind of...
From a storyline and character standpoint, it fit.
Maybe it's just a personal preference. But I just thought the match drastically improved when it was the 3 going at it and just completely, tearing the house down. This was probably the most over match of the night. The crowd was standing on their feet for the majority of it, getting involved with the competitors, especially Roman, who was enticing the whole time. I honestly thought coming into this match, the way they booked Roman so well, that he would be cheered by most of these fans. And for the most part, it seemed like they were booing him as a heel, playing the part. So that's great. Edge was cheered as well. Daniel Bryan, I don't know if it was as maybe cheered as much as they thought.
I think people were indifferent to Daniel being there.
Maybe because of the way Edge has been like, he's right that Daniel, interjected himself in this. Maybe that's why. So what did you guys think of this match?
I thought it was great. I thought it was funny when right before he put Daniel to the table, there was that group that was back there saying Roman sucks, and you could see it. It was like feeding his anger. And then he put Daniel to the table, and he looked at him and goes, "I don't hear you now. Say it now."
And then he got speared.
Now. And then he got the shit speared out of him.
Yeah. But yeah, that moment was great when he was just like, "I'm the man."
Like, say it now. Say it now.
Like, what now?
I ain't scared of his big old greasy hair ass. I ain't scared of him.
You say that shit.
I would.
I got your back up until he grab you, and then I'm
look,
like, man,
you know as well as I do that I would. I'm
and again, that's exactly why I said what I said. I got your back all up until he grab your ass, and now I'll be like, well, that's a you problem.
Now I'm not sitting here saying I'm going to win that motherfucker by any
I know you're not,
but
I
still
said what I said.
I still say
I got you up until he grab you, and then I'll be like, listen,
it was nice knowing.
I got a sciatica. You know what I'm saying? I can't really, you know what I mean?
My back kind of a little sore today. I don't know,
Doctor,
I might
back you out of me.
I might just drop to a knee right there, be like, yeah, you the head of the table, fuck him up.
Now, Tony talked like before we started recording that he might have had a different opinion about this match. So I'm kind of curious what he thinks.
No, I was just being stupid, but like normal. The match, I thought the match was really good. I felt indifferent about the ending though, like him putting Edge on top of Daniel Bryan and pinning them both. I mean, to me, okay, that says case closed. Then that says there's no rematches, there's no nothing. I put you guys both away, so I need a new challenger.
Well,
but who's that gonna be?
Yeah,
like who? Like Eric said when we were watching it, whoever it's going to be, it has to be somebody that you are going to push. It has to be. It can't be some part-timer coming in. So I don't know.
The person that beats Roman, not just challenges it, but beats him, has to be like the next John Cena. It has to be the guy you want to push. Well, I mean, and Roman's going to be the man for a while. Don't get me wrong. And I would not be against the fact of Roman holding that belt through next year's Mania. At this point, I'm fine with that.
Here's the thing: you think if Lesnar comes back to Raw, this is a big if, by the way, and then Drew goes to SmackDown, would he challenge Roman?
I don't know if he's the guy. He could challenge you, but I don't think I'd beat him with him, just because they've
that's
already
probably
done
what's
that
gonna
with
happen.
Drew. Yeah.
I didn't think about that. When do they usually have the draft? When is the draft?
It's usually a
After
few
Mania?
months after Mania, but probably after Backlash because they're already dubbing it WrestleMania Backlash instead of just Backlash. So they're clearly going to be doing some rematches and storyline.
So you're probably going to get Drew or somebody like that brought over. I mean, it would have to be like a Drew or a Randy Orton or someone like that because there's nobody else with the.
No, Randy
Orton, no.
AJ maybe.
I'm just saying, there's nobody else with the pool or the the whatever.
I think you take this next year and you find somebody you want and you build and build and build and build until you get to Mania, and then you do it with whoever you choose. But you've got to find the guy that you want to do it with, and I don't know if anybody like that is on the current roster. Maybe NXT.
Cesaro, maybe.
No. I mean, he's a little older.
It would be great, but they would have to put they would have to strap the rocket on him and shoot him to the moon because right now, I mean, he got his win against Seth, but that would be an amazing match, though. I would love to see them too.
I mean, even if do what they did with Cena and Rock for I think 27, take the full fucking year to do it.
Yeah,
take the full fucking year to build
Cesaro. Somebody who's gonna challenge him.
No, I don't think you're going to book the match right now. I think you just
no. But you start the build right now.
Yeah.
Whoever wait until after Mania Backlash. You have until May 16th to figure out who you want to have beat Roman, and book him strong as hell the entire year leading up to Mania.
Him and Roman, but keep booking him strong. Yeah, do not.
Exactly.
Roman should not lose, in my opinion, at all.
Who the fuck is that going to be?
I don't know.
Well,
that's the thing.
Edge and Daniel Bryan, if they were smart, that's what I would do. I would break them two off and let them feud together.
WrestleMania Backlash.
Then you can address your new challenger and you're right. He should maybe have a couple month program with like Shinsuke, have him go through Shinsuke and then do something else with somebody else. And just, like you said, keep that belt till Mania. And then when Rumble time, maybe end of the year comes, that's when your opponent emerges.
Yeah, you start to build it. Right. Agreed.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, I think Edge and Daniel Bryan, that's exactly what I was going to say too. Because Roman pinned both of them in the ring, there's no doubt about Roman being the head of the table.
Yeah.
Edge and Daniel Bryan now, they continue it for now.
Yeah.
And then
Edge will blame Daniel for losing.
And Daniel pulled Edge out of the referee out of the ring when Edge had this match won. So you build off that, and that's how you continue this.
Yeah.
And that's
Edge wasn't happy with Daniel being in the match in the first place, so you already got the starting point there.
100% agreed. Yeah, absolutely. Any other thoughts on where maybe they're taking things? Maybe Raw after Mania tomorrow?
I'm curious as to see who's that next guy to step up to Roman. Honestly, I mean, it seems somewhat clear that Drew and Lashley are done. I would assume.
Yeah.
But you're talking like Roman's on Raw. He's not. We'll have to wait till. SmackDown.
I know that.
Yeah.
As far as Roman goes, I don't fucking know. What do you do from there? I mean,
I don't feel like Lashley and Drew's over yet. I don't feel like it has.
Why?
I mean, that rematch will all be done at Backlash.
I mean, unless you get a returning Brock Lesnar tomorrow night.
But Brock ain't shit without
Paul. And Paul's busy with Roman right now.
That doesn't mean Paul can't go to both shows.
He could.
I mean, I doubt Brock's going to come back tomorrow. But I mean, I'm just saying, you're not unless Brock comes back. Lashley's he's probably gonna wrestle with Drew again at Backlash.
I honestly don't see any major returns on Raw tomorrow. Maybe a call up from NXT, but again, with the Adam Cole thing, I wouldn't do that because of the beating he took from O'Reilly. No. So I don't know.
Shows up triple taped up.
Yeah. So I don't know who you'd bring. Maybe Becky Lynch if she's ready.
Becky's probably going to be your big return.
And Becky and Rhea Ripley, don't get me wrong, intrigues me. I think that could be really good if Becky is, again, ready to go. I do love the fact that moving forward, WWE has placed some new champions, especially on the women's division with Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. They're fresh faces, have fresh feuds. So in that case, again, this entire WrestleMania weekend, I will once again say it, the WWE has booked things almost to perfection for these two nights. So let's see if they can follow up on it. That's always the key. So
we might not agree with the winners exactly, but as far as who they've booked on,
your fucking head, I can't do this.
They've got a very good
Look
jumping
away,
off
man.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
They've booked. They haven't booked any like old timers to win.
Right.
Or
This is the first wrestling show, whether it be a regular weekly show or pay-per-view, that I don't have a whole lot of negative to say about. I
Right.
really think.
Especially for WWE, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because again,
No, I'm
yeah.
with you. I'm with you.
And I'm gonna say this right now: AEW needs to step it up because there are certain things that they're doing. I'm even kind of like, but tonight and last night and NXT Takeover this week, WWE put on a good week of professional wrestling. Outside of maybe Raw and SmackDown had some moments, but
right.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I'm happy to say it finally because WWE has given me such a headache. And there's still certain things like the birds and the train noises and things like that they're doing, which I hope. I don't know if it was the crowd they wanted to please everybody or what it was, but for this week alone, good job WWE.
It's WrestleMania. It's
They're
it's always that
pull out all the
time
stops.
where they go, all right, you guys let your hair down.
Yeah.
And the fact that there was a crowd there, I think only just amped it up even more. Like I said, it was a you don't realize how much a crowd means to a wrestler until it's not there. And then when you see the huge I'm gonna use a big word here, juxtaposition when they come out and there's a crowd and how they react to it.
When did you start reading?
Hey man, a brother
He
got
used
to
a
step his
college
game up there
word,
once
man.
and word.
That's
Hey, fuck you, fam. Don't ever come at me like that again.
Juxtaposition. That juxtaposition.
How many syllables in heaven?
5. Juxtaposition.
Hey, I killed it. You know what I'm saying? Respect my verbal gangster.
All right, give me the definition of that bitch.
I heard somebody else say that shit.
All in all, though, great show. I do want to mention, though, too, moving forward this week, we're going to take a bit of a small break. We hit it hard for our first week on the podcast due to WrestleMania week. We covered every show. We are going to continue to cover professional wrestling. But on our weekly podcast, I think we're going to be, definitely laid back like we always are. But we're going to cover professional wrestling, movies, video games, sports if we want to. We're just going to have a good time. We're going to have fun. We're going to talk about all sorts of topics. I don't want everybody to think it's going to be strictly professional wrestling. That's a lot of these guys' ideas. We're all on the same page with that. We want to have fun and do all sorts of things to entertain you guys. So we hope that you will follow us at the 3-Star Podcast, 3-Star Podcast 1 on Twitter and at 3-Star Pod on Facebook. And definitely follow us all individually on our Twitters as well and Facebooks, wherever you can find us. Anybody else have any thoughts?
Yeah, man. Before we go, this is the end of our first week of doing this, and this has kind of been like a brainchild of me and Brandon's for a while to try and get something like this going on. And I'm really happy that you and Damon are here to take this trip with us, man. And
our honor, dude.
And I think we've had a really good week. We kind of, I don't want to say stumbled, but we were a little slow coming out of the gate. But I think tonight, we finally hit our stride, and we feel good and comfortable with everything and each other. And I'm really excited just to see where this goes forward, man. So thank you guys for doing this. Lord knows I could be a pain in the ass and a little mouthy at times with what I say, but I love you guys, and I'm glad we're doing this.
Every podcast got to have one of those guys.
Yeah, that's me. I'm that one. Yeah.
But I always feel like I said before, I didn't want, when me and Tony had this whole conversation about even doing this, we never wanted it to be this thing to where it was awkward or anything like that, because I hate that whole we try to do something and then like it turns into something we didn't want it to turn into. We always wanted a podcast that we decided to do to be like us, the normal conversation with people we normally would talk to about the shit that we talk about.
So,
and that's what I want this to be. Like Eric said, I didn't want it to be just one topic. Like I don't.
Yeah, one note.
Yeah, like that's not who we are. I mean, any given you listen to the podcast up to this point, we've went on tangents about all kinds of shit. So
beautiful.
And we're going to continue to do so. And we've already, I don't know, we hadn't talked to Tony about this yet, but we'd already discussed possibly watching Mortal Kombat together at the end of April, possibly doing a review of that together.
Yeah.
Also, we thought about maybe doing trailer reactions to movies, trailers, just skits and stuff. We're going to have a lot of cool things that we want to try and do. Maybe reaction videos to like maybe make me laugh challenges or whatever we can try to do to have some fun.
One thing I say we are going to do is going to get some start a GoFundMe for Damon to get a new fucking camera.
The camera's fine. It's the setting, bro.
It's the automatic swelling that just happened.
I mean, he must have ate some bad pizza or something. Just kind of
allergic reaction, Damon.
Nah, that's just how that shit bubbled up on his ass.
Yeah. You might have an infection. I have to get checked.
You better stop talking that shit. Your head gonna pop, motherfucker.
So, like, follow, subscribe,
all the above.
Get us,
And like I said, we're not going anywhere. We're going to take a small break this week. We'll probably record about once a week, maybe more, depending on if something comes up we want to do. So it just may not be as daily, but we're definitely going to have content for you guys. So definitely don't leave.
For sure.
So we'll definitely have some stuff for you. So thanks for watching.
Also, leave in the comments if you would like to keep the screen effect on my face.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You would, because it's the same size as your fucking head. That's why you like it.
You water buffalo looking motherfucker.
Don't you ever try to compare me to a water buffalo. First of all, you know another thing. Water buffaloes run the jungle.
Eric, why don't you go ahead and sign us off, bud? Why don't you
keep going?
Fuck that shit. Y'all gonna
hear me fucking finding water buffaloes in the jungle?
Until next time, guys.
Where you find?
Take care.
Fuck all y'all. All right, y'all know what the hell I'm talking about.
See you next week.